I have so many books to talk about today. This is like 2 months worth of books, and we're gonna be talking about every single one of them today. All right, that was epic. Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about all the books I read in November and December. I don't know when my 2022 like yearly wrap-up is going to go out. I think it may be before or after this video. I'm really not sure. You may or may not have seen these books already. If you have, then here are my in-depth thoughts, and if you haven't, then here are my in-depth thoughts. I kind of ran out of time in November and December to do like a wrap-up for both of the months separately, so I was like, I'm just gonna do them all together, and if it's late, if it's in 2023 already, then oh well. But other than that, happy new year. But yeah, so we're just gonna get started with all the books that I read. As you can see, I have a big stack of books, but then I also have a lot of Kindle reads that I read this month. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started on into it. I hope this is good. Is this better? Probably. So the first book that I want to talk about is actually one on my Kindle, and that is Culti by Mariana Zapata. I gave this book a 4 stars. This book follows Sam and Culti, or is it Sal? It may be Sal and Culti or Sam, I don't really know. This is a soccer player romance. If you don't know, Mariana Zapata is very well known for her slow burn books. I personally love them. I will say though that I have to be in the mood if I want to read one of her books, and I was like, you know, I really want to read a Mariana Zapata book in November, so that's exactly what I did. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed their relationship. Culti and The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, those two books were very similar to me, but the thing is, I didn't really like The Wall of Winnipeg, but I loved Culti. I just liked the guy character in this book a lot better. I liked the girl character. I liked the way their relationship was, how they went from not knowing each other to enemies to becoming friends and becoming lovers. Like, just the way that this book did it, it was very slow, but you could see the relationship start to form, and that's what I thought was so beautiful, because in the other book I just felt like it was so rushed at the end, but this one you can really see their connection, and you can just see it slowly coming in, and just the way that Culti is with her and her family. This man, I love this man. I love this book. I thought it was so cute. But yeah, I really love this book. And then we get into the next book that I read, which was very disappointing, and that is The Play by Elle Kennedy. If you don't know, this is part of the Bar You series, which is a spin-off of the Off-Campus series. And in this book, you have Hunter and Demi. Demi breaks up with her boyfriend, and she wants a rebound. Hunter is a hockey player who just wants to focus on hockey and focus on his schoolwork. And then him and Demi have some kind of assignment to do together, so they start doing it. They become friends. Yada yada yada. I gave this book a 1 star. I really thought I was gonna like it, but I hated it. I love Hunter as a character. I love him. This man just deserves all of the love. Demi, on the other hand, I can't stand her for anything. She made me so mad. She's so childish in this book, and it just makes me mad because I wanted to like her. I just couldn't do it. Like, I just did not like her. Also, there was just one scene in this book where Demi kind of backs Hunter into a corner, and if Hunter were to do that to her, he would have been blamed the bad guy. So I just couldn't get over that. After I read that scene, I was like, nope, can't do it. I do love the Bar You series just in general. I'm currently reading the last one, so I would recommend the Bar You like series altogether, but you can skip this one. It really wasn't that great. We had a great read, a terrible read, and then we get into all the rest of the books that I read in November, which is going to be the end of the Shatter Me series. I finished all of the books in November. I was very sad whenever I finished the series. I loved this series so much. I loved seeing all of the characters grow through every single one of these books. I loved the way that it ended. I loved being able to see so much more into other characters' perspectives, and to really just grow with all these characters, and the plot twist that happens in these books, just, it's so freaking good, and it's so beautiful, and I just loved these books. As I go through these books, I'm not going to be telling you too much about them. You just have to have read these books because it's a part of a big 10-book series. I'm just going to say my ratings, what I thought of them, and just kind of move on. So the first one is Restore Me. This is book 4 of this series. I gave this book a 5 stars. I loved the setup in this book for what was going to happen in the other books. I thought it was really well done, and I love Warner a lot. And then we have Defy Me. This is the 5th book in the series. I really loved it. Gave it a 5 stars. Again, just the setup, the twists and turns that this book takes, and I love Kenji. I love him so much. And then the 6th book, the final like full book in this series, is Imagine Me. The ending that this book has is spectacular. The way that this story finishes out, everything that you just learn from all these characters and you get to see them grow and you get to see where they end up was just so beautiful. I love Warner, Kenji, and Juliet so much. They are my favorite people in the entire world. Well, favorite fictional people. I wish that they were real, but they're not. And then we have Find Me, which is a bind up of Shadow Me and Reveal Me. These are novellas that you read in between those books. I gave each of these a 3 stars. This is from Kenji's perspective. The only reason I gave it 3 stars was just because I would love to have an entire book just in his perspective. Yeah, I don't really know how to rate novellas because like I sit here and I'm like, I want more, but obviously it's a novella, not really supposed to have more. So yeah, I kind of hate novellas, not gonna lie, for that reason. And then the last book of the entire series is Believe Me. I gave this one a 4 stars. It was so cute. I love the ending. I love Julia. I love Warner. I just wasn't like completely in love with the way that this was done, but I still really appreciated it, and I really appreciated having closure for the series. So yeah, 4 stars. The entire series is a 5-star series for me. I freaking love it. But yeah, that's the Shatter Me series. And then the last book that I read in November was actually a Kindle read, and that was Meant to Be by Lauren Jackson. I gave this book a 2 stars. I don't really remember much of it. I remember absolutely hating the girl character in this book because she treats everyone so poorly. She was just so annoying. Like, she comes back into her hometown and she messes everything up for everybody, and then she thinks that the world revolves around her and she has absolutely no care for anybody else in her life. It just really annoyed me. And then the guy character was alright. He wasn't my favorite. Didn't really enjoy him, but he was fine. The only reason that I even got 2 stars was because I loved Nick, who's actually the ex-boyfriend in this book. He was so sweet. He was a sweetheart, and I loved him. And then we're gonna get into all of my December reads, all the books I read in December. So we start off with 2 Kindle reads, both by Becca Mack. It is a part of a series. A 3rd book is in the works, which thank goodness. But the first one is Consider Me. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. I freaking loved it. It is a hockey player romance. You meet Carter and Olivia. Carter is a part of the National Hockey League, and then Olivia is a physical education teacher at a local high school. They actually meet through mutual friends. Both of their friends date each other. Carter's best friend and Olivia's best friend are dating, so that's like how they meet and that's how they kind of known each other. It is a very cliche of like the basic hockey player falls for the girl and completely changes to be a better guy, but I eat it up. I loved it, honestly. Sometimes I really don't like the cliche books, but the way that this one is written by Becca was just so freaking beautiful. I really enjoyed this book. I love Carter as a character. Olivia kind of just got on my nerves. Just a little bit, because I mean, I understand she doesn't trust as easily, but sometimes I just sat there and I was like, you're dumb. You're really dumb. But I love you, Carter. You're great. He did mess up and he was kind of stupid throughout the book as well, but like, of course you have to have that 3rd act breakup, but they resolve it and they're so beautiful and I love them so freaking much. And then the 2nd book in this series is Play With Me. This follows Garrett and Jenny. Jenny is Carter's little sister and Garrett is another player from the team that he plays on with Carter. So it is brother's best friend, or like best friend's little sister kind of trope. It's a forbidden romance. It is a secret relationship kind of trope. I love this book. It was a 4 stars. I feel like some things could have been done a little bit differently, but I did love this book. I also really loved being able to see Carter and Olivia throughout this book as well, and like how they change and how they grow even in this book, which is not about them. I don't know. But yeah, Jenny is also a ballerina. She dances. She's a part of a dance company, and I really just loved their relationship. How it started was not my favorite, but as they grew together, as they got to become friends and form a connection, it was really beautiful to see the both of them trying to just like be there for one another without teetering into like more, but obviously they wanted more. I don't know. It was just really cute and I really enjoyed this book. I would definitely recommend reading these 2 books, especially as it's still winter time. You know, it's a hockey player romance. You have to read it in the winter. That's just the rules. I don't make them. I just follow them. And then we get into what I think is going to become one of my new favorite series, which is just so funny to me, but that is Crave by Tracy. My mom actually gave me this book a while ago, like a couple years ago, and at that time I hated dust jackets. Like, I literally despised them, so I threw it away. So now I have a naked book on my shelf, but that's fine because whatever. But yeah, I read Crave by Tracy Wolf. I actually listened to an audiobook. I would put it on as I drove around in my car, and in 2 weeks I finished it, which is crazy. I realize I drive and I'm in my car a lot more than I think I am. This book is the first one of a 6-book series that follows Grace. She goes to a boarding school in Alaska after something tragic happens to her family, and she goes to this boarding school. She thinks it's just a normal boarding school as she goes to live with her cousin or uncle. Well, turns out at this boarding school there's witches, vampires, and so much more that she gets to learn about. The first half of this book is super cheesy. It's basically filled with Twilight and Vampire Diaries and Legacies mixed all into one. Like, if those 3 things had a baby, it would be this. Literally, Tracy Wolf was inspired by all those things completely, 110%, especially as I'm in the next book right now. Yeah, she loves Vampire Diaries. They actually mention all 3 of the shows in these books, which I thought was really funny, because it's literally those come to life in this like real world, in their world, you know what I mean? I actually really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 stars. I did not really like it at first. I was like, okay, this is kind of stupid. But as I read it more, I was like, why is this kind of good? Obviously, trashy vampire romance, but it's so good for whatever reason. Definitely Grace is annoying at times. Sometimes I'm like, okay, you're stupid. It's literally right there in front of your face and you don't want to listen to it. I don't understand, but whatever. And then Jackson, who is one of the main guys in this book, he is basically Stefan and Edward put into one. Like, literally, that is his character. And then she also has her cousin Macy. She's adorable. I love her. She can be very annoying though. But yeah, I still love this book, and I'm excited to keep on reading the rest of them, honestly, and they're all on Kindle Unlimited. Probably am gonna finish them. And then the next one that I read was Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I gave this book a 5 stars. I loved this book. I kind of went into it blind. I mean, I went into this book knowing that it was a toxic relationship, that it was Gossip Girl vibes, and that it was set in London. I thought it was set at a boarding school, but it's not. And I also did not know the plot of this book whatsoever. I really didn't understand what was gonna happen, which honestly was best. Knowing the 3 things of Gossip Girl vibes, London, and it's a toxic relationship was enough for me to get to read it, because I love those kind of books, like drama-filled books. It's fun to read about. It makes a book exciting for me whenever it has like a lot of drama that's like beautiful the way that this was. I don't know, because like this book has a lot of drama just in plot-wise. This book has a lot of drama character-wise, and it makes the characters better for it, which I love. I love character development. I'm a big person for character more than plot in any kind of book. I very much enjoy character development than plot, and this book is entirely that. I mean, it has great plot, don't get me wrong, but it's mainly based on the characters. You get to meet this amazing group of friends, and these people have known each other their almost their entire lives, and of course, you know, there's stuff going on between each friend. Just the way that this group loves each other despite all what they do, like, I don't know, it was really good. I really enjoy this book. I love Magnolia and I love BJ, and don't get me wrong, of course they mess up, of course they do stupid things, and of course you're gonna sit here and be like, you're stupid, I hate you, but like, still love the book. I still love it. It's just so good, and I recommend everybody read it. I'm really excited to get to the next couple books, especially the next one for Christian and Daisy. Don't have to tell me twice. I'm so excited. And then the last 3 books are all Kindle reads. I read them literally like the last day of the year. So the first one out of the last 3 is Birthday Kisses by Monica Murphy. I gave this one a 4 stars. It's just a little novella of Ren and Crew. It was really cute. There's really not much to say because it was only 50 pages long, but I loved it. So the last 2 books are actually part of a series. I think it was originally supposed to be a duology, but now there's like a 3rd and a 4th book to this series, I believe. And that is the St. Mary series by S.J. Silvis. The first one is Good Girls Never Rise. I gave this book a 5 stars. I honestly, the first 25 to 30% of this book I really did not like. Like, I liked the setup of the book. Do not get me wrong. The way that the characters were introduced were actually pretty, it was really nice, but there was just something about the main guy at first, Isaiah, that I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna like him. Like, honestly, I almost stopped reading the book almost immediately, but then I was like, okay, I'm gonna push through, skipped a couple pages, and then I just continued reading, and I instantly fell in love with the rest of the characters. So in this book, you really follow Gemma. She goes through a lot growing up. You know, she loses her mother, gets placed under the care of someone who is honestly obviously a not good man whatsoever, and then she's sent away to this boarding school called St. Mary's. There's something going on with all the characters in this prep school. They are all connected somehow, and you get to read about that in these books. I would say definitely look up the trigger warnings of what this book entails. It wasn't like a dark romance, it was just like a darker book that dealt with heavier topics. Yeah, so you get to follow Gemma into this new school. She meets this boy Isaiah, and he is the basic bad boy of the school, and she's like the basic good girl, like wants to follow all the rules, and he wants to break them all. And they meet one night, nothing really happens, and then they meet another night and something starts. So they're not really friends at the beginning of the book, but Isaiah needs something from her. He needs her to keep a secret for him, and he needs her help with something. So she agrees to it, and so while she's helping him, they find out that they have a lot more in common and a lot more to do with each other than they want to. Yeah, you get to see their connection. After the first 30% of this book, Isaiah really started to grow on me. I really ended up loving him so much as a character, and I love Gemma, and I love their friend group and just everything to do with them. That book leaves off on a very big cliffhanger, and it immediately brings you into the last book that I read of the year, which was Bad Boys Never Fall. Also gave this book a 5 stars. I love the way that this book wrapped everything up. I loved just this book in general. I thought it was so good, and I would definitely recommend everybody read it. I don't really know what to say about this book because you need to read the series, obviously, because it's the second book of a series, so I can't really spoil too much. I really appreciated the way that this book wrapped up. So yeah, these are all the books that I read in November and December. Those 2 months, honestly, were some of my best reading months in the quality of the books that I read. So insanely happy with them, and I'm just so excited to get into 2023 and to read even more books I'm super excited about. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe right down below. Make sure to follow my Instagram. Keep up with me on the daily. Comment down below your least favorite or your favorite book of November or December, or just of the year in general, you know, if you want to. But yeah, I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out. Let's go.